What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So today I'm back with another build in the world of Copperdale, which is the world that came with the new high school years expansion pack. I know it came out like a couple weeks ago, but I am not done with this world yet. I was also sick for a little while, as you probably know, or I mean, you might not know, but if you've watched my last speed build, then you know all about it. Yes, I'm still stuffy. You can still hear it in my voice, but it's okay. I hope that doesn't bother you too much. But yeah, I was feeling very inspired to build a bit of a larger family home here in Copperdale. I haven't done that yet. I did build a high school and then also a little restaurant in the downtown area of Copperdale. And then I also built a smaller family home, which was my last speed build in this world as well. But I hadn't done any builds here in this foresty area, or like the cliffside area, if you will. And so that is what I'm doing today. I'm building on this 30 by 20 lot. By default, there is a rental on this lot, which I find very random. It's fun. I like that we can build rentals in every single world these days. That is a really, really good thing that they added. But here in Copperdale, I felt like it was a bit random. So I decided to just take this lot and build a residential home. It's a quite fancy house. It's on the larger side of things. It's not like huge by any means, but for me, this is quite a big house. And I also tried to make it more on the fancy side of things. So that is what I did, and I love how this came together. So for the shape of the house, I was working off of a reference photo, and yeah, that kind of just got me started on the general like overall shape of the house, and it also inspired me to do the roofing in a certain way. However, I didn't do it exactly as it looked in that sketch that I found, because that just didn't really work out. I just used it for inspiration, and then my own creativity kind of took over, I guess. And then I just came up with this, and I love how this house came out. So this house is a little bit on the larger side of things. As you can see, it does have 4 bedrooms total. It has 1 bedroom downstairs and then 3 bedrooms upstairs. And I furnished this house for a family of 5 Sims. So 2 parents, 1 teenager, and then 1 young adult is what I was thinking. And the young adult is already off to college. They're not living here in this house anymore. However, they do still have their old bedroom. I feel like they do come visit a lot, probably like every single weekend or like every other weekend, because they live in the dorms now, but they also like to come home from time to time still. So they do have their bedroom still. And then there is 1 room that I furnished for a kid. So a young adult, a teenager, as well as a child, and then 2 parents is what I was thinking. And I really enjoyed that. So for the storyline for this house, I was having a lot of fun thinking about this. For some reason, I was feeling so inspired. I built this house quite fast, like in 2 sittings, which for me is not a whole lot for a house this size. It came together quite quickly. I mean, it's still a bit of a longer video because it took me a while to get through all of the rooms and like furnish everything and built the whole thing and like do the landscaping and stuff, which, by the way, oh my God, it's so annoying. I haven't had the terrain paint glitch in a while where the game will just kind of delete all of your terrain paint. For some reason, I haven't had that glitch. I mean, that glitch has been around for a long time, but I haven't really experienced it in a while. So I thought that for me, like for my game, it was fixed or something, or it just wasn't happening to me anymore, thankfully. But now it seems to be happening again with like the latest patch or the latest expansion pack added to my game. I don't know exactly what it is, but yeah, I'm experiencing the terrain paint glitch again, and it was so annoying because I spent so long trying to do a pathway for this house. And then I loaded into the game again the next day, which was today, and it was gone. So that was very annoying. Thankfully though, I redid it. Of course, you won't see me redo it, but I do like how it came around like the second time. I like the pathway that I did a lot better the second time. So yeah, I guess that was a win, but it's still a little bit annoying. So I need to like keep remembering to upload my houses to the gallery, just to my own library for the sake of like not losing my terrain paint. So yeah, that is something I need to start thinking about doing again, which is a little bit annoying. I hope they fix that glitch because it's been around forever, so I don't know if they ever will fix it, but I surely hope they will. But I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But that's okay. Yeah, so for the storyline for this house, I was thinking 2 parents. And since this house, you can't really tell yet, but you will be able to tell once we move on to the interior of the house. These parents, they're a little bit fancy. They are, in my mind, like for the storyline that I was thinking, they are very strict. They're quite fancy. They're very neat. They're very career-driven people. And that is what they kind of reflect upon their kids as well. So what they really want for their kids is, for one, they're quite strict. So no parties, no prom, no parties or anything. No distracting from your schoolwork, stuff like that. So yeah, they're quite strict. They're not like necessarily bad people, but they're just very strict, and they are not about like fun and parties, and they're just very career driven, and they want their kids to be successful in school. They want them to go to college, study hard, get a good job. Don't pick something you necessarily like, but pick something where you will earn a lot of money, so you'll be successful and like happy in that regard. I think their definition of being happy is being wealthy, having a great career, being successful in that sense. That is their definition of luck or like of being happy, I guess. Happiness is the word I'm looking for, I think. So that is really what they are reflecting upon their kids as well. And as you can probably imagine, that doesn't go over well with all of their kids. So for their children, like I said, we have one young adult who is already off to college. And I was thinking that that is a guy, their son. And he is a lot like his parents. He wants to go to college. I mean, he's already in university, but he just wants to be successful. He wants to have a great job. He's probably studying something in finance, and I was also thinking that the parents, I don't really have a clear vision in my mind of what their exact careers would be, like what their jobs would be, but I was definitely thinking something in like finance or something. I don't really know how to explain it, but definitely an officey job that involves a lot of numbers and money. They're like handling the money for like some big fancy company, something like that. But I feel like the parents do something in the same field of work. So that's what I was thinking. And their son is trying to, or like going to college to become that same, like do something in that same field of work. Or maybe the son wants to like start his own company of some sorts, something that is going to be making him tons of money, basically. And that is what the parents are very proud of. That is exactly what they wanted for their kids. So the son is definitely a little bit of the favorite child, I guess. I don't know. But they're just very happy with the choices their son is making in his life. And so, yeah, that is really what they want for their kids. But then they have a teenage daughter who at this point, I think is like a sophomore in high school. She is not like that at all. She is way more on the creative side of things. She loves fashion. I really try to reflect that in her bedroom as well. She loves fashion. She wants to be a simfluencer. She does a lot of like creating outfits, basically the things that you can do in the thrifty shop thingy where you can like create outfits and promote them and like sell them, like that sort of thing. She probably has a very successful like Simstagram, like fashion lifestyle kind of page. And she also likes to live stream. I wasn't necessarily thinking gaming, but I was thinking more along the lines of like lifestyle or like fashion, more like chit chat, live streams, like stuff like that about fashion, about lifestyle, like things like that. So that is what she is very much into. She likes photography as well. Fashion photography, portrait photography. She's just really into those types of things. So she's more on the artistic, fashionable, like hip side of things, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it, but that is definitely not something the parents approve of. So in my mind, she's not even allowed to live stream. She does have a setup because, I mean, she doesn't necessarily have a job, but she more so has like those side hustles where she like will help people style themselves, or she will like I explained, like sell these outfits that she creates on like the Depop app, I guess is what it's called. I'm not exactly sure, but she does make a little bit of money that way. So I feel like she does have a stream set up in her room, which her parents don't necessarily approve of, but she probably just bought it for herself anyway. And she's not really allowed to do like live streams and like make videos. But she does it anyway. The parents don't really know how to like keep her from doing that type thing. Like there is not really a way for them to tell her, no, you can't do that. So she does it anyway, but the parents don't really approve of it. They're not proud of it. And so yeah, I feel like the daughter doesn't really have the best relationship with her parents at this point in time. Maybe when she gets older, or maybe as time goes on, the parents will start to understand it a bit more and like be proud of her as well, but they're not proud of her, like what she's doing with her life right now. They feel like she isn't paying enough attention to her schoolwork. She also does not necessarily want to go to college. She is already quite successful on like those apps, like where she sells her outfits and things, but also on like Simstagram and probably like YouTube, or like the Sims equivalent of Twitch, those types of things. In her field of interest, she is already quite successful, and she has a little bit of a community going on, and that is really what she wants to do. Like when she graduates high school, she doesn't want to go to college necessarily. And even if she were to go to college, she would want to study something like art or like photography, or something more on the creative side of things, which is definitely something that her parents will not approve of. So yeah, that they are just they clash. The parents and the daughter, they clash a lot. And I feel like she also clashes with her brother a ton. So she is quite happy that he moved out of the house and into the dorms. Obviously, he does come home from time to time. I was really thinking that he is the type of person who will come home every weekend to focus on his schoolwork and study for his exams instead of staying in the dorms and party on the weekend. He kind of wants to not do that. He wants to do the opposite. So he comes home for the weekend and studies and spends time with his parents and his siblings, even though he clashes a lot with his little sister. I don't know. I feel like he still really values family time, whereas the daughter, she doesn't value that at all because she clashes with everyone. She doesn't really like it here. And so I was thinking she also probably sneaks out of the house a lot. I did create a little area for that on the landing, which the parents' bedroom is downstairs, so they probably don't come like on the second floor a ton. So it's pretty easy for her to sneak out of the window on the landing. So that's what I was thinking. And then they also have an even younger sibling. In my mind, he is a boy as well, but could be a girl. It really doesn't matter. It could be anything. But yeah, he is a kid, so he's the youngest sibling, and he's very much into sports. He wants to be a successful sportsman, or like a sports player. I don't know. He wants to do a lot of sports. So he can't wait to go to high school and like join the football team. But he is very young. He's like, I was thinking like 9, maybe 10 years old at this point. So not quite ready for high school yet. But yeah, very much into sports. And I mean, he's only a kid, so he's okay with all of his siblings and his parents as well. He can't really do anything quote unquote wrong in the parents' eyes, because he's only so young still. And they enjoy that he's into sports, because that is something that he can be very successful in as well. And like maybe get a good scholarship whenever he ends up going to college. So they're not mad about that. It's not something they wish for their kid to take up as a professional, but it's something they can definitely see the benefits of, and really support him being into that sort of thing, like being into sports. So that's kind of what I was thinking for this family. Let me know what you think. I was really having fun thinking about them and like furnishing this house for them. It's definitely a little bit more on the outdated side of things is what I was trying to do. And I feel like I succeeded. It's not necessarily very ugly, but it is quite fancy, but then also more like on the outdated side of things, which is something I really enjoyed. This kitchen, for example, is most definitely not my favorite, like color scheme and appliances wise, stuff like that. This to me is definitely a little bit too outdated for my taste. However, in this house, I feel like it's really fitting, and I just love how it looks. So the house is quite big. It's not the biggest house ever, however, it does feel very spacious. The kitchen is quite big, and then we have a large like living area, dining area, all very open planned. But then the bedrooms aren't necessarily the biggest. So I feel like maybe these parents are trying to come across more wealthy than they actually are. They're not like showing off their money. I don't really know how to explain it. But they do definitely have a little bit of old money still, I feel like, too, in their family. So yeah, they really want to come across as like wealthy people who have it all together and they have the perfect family, which in reality is not really the case. I mean, they're still very wealthy. They do have a lot of money. They don't have the perfect family, which there is no such thing as a perfect family, obviously. But these, I mean, I was kind of low-key thinking of the Dursleys from Harry Potter. I mean, they're not like that. They're not necessarily like the Dursleys, because the Dursleys are terrible people. And these people are not terrible. They're just very career and money and success driven. And their daughter isn't. And so that is where the drama kind of comes in. And maybe their son, their youngest son, maybe isn't like that either. I mean, they don't really know that yet because he's only so young still. So yeah, you can't really tell. But maybe when he becomes, when he starts to hit puberty, maybe he will be more like his sister as well. And then they're definitely going to have their hands full. So yeah, definitely not the perfect family, but they're trying to come across as the perfect family. Like being extra nice to the neighbors and kind of doing things for their own benefit, if I'm wording that correctly, if that is making any sense. Like they will help their neighbors whenever their neighbors need like help with anything. They will help them, not for the sake of helping them, but for the sake of coming across like good neighbors. And like, that's the sort of people that they are. You know, I don't know if I'm wording these things correctly. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but you probably get the idea of where I was going with this family. And I was having a lot of fun because I don't really usually think of Sims families in this way. I usually tend to go for the more wholesome type storyline, but not so much with this one. And I'm really enjoying it. And I'm also kind of enjoying, or not enjoying, I am inspired to actually sit down and create these Sims. I feel like that would be a lot of fun to do as well. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I will put these in my save file actually. Yeah, oh, that's something I could do because this is built on the rental lot, so I wouldn't be removing any existing townies or anything from this world. So that's something I could definitely go ahead and do. But yeah, here you can see I'm starting on the parents' bedroom. The parents' bedroom is downstairs. It's not the biggest, but it does feel quite fancy. I'm using this like wallpaper that I don't think I've ever used. It's base game and it's a lot to look at, but for some reason I really like it in here. It feels, once again, very outdated, but in a good way. For this house, it kind of feels cute and I like it. And then I use a lot of white furniture in this room. At first I was going for black, but that was just a little bit too dark. I didn't really go with the rest of the house as much, which is something I always like to do when it comes to the parents' bedroom, because the parents probably picked out most of the furniture and like the color scheme for the rest of the house. So in my opinion, or in my mind, it really makes sense to have the parents' bedroom match with the overall style and color scheme of the house. Whereas for the kids' bedrooms, they're definitely very different from the rest of the house. The oldest son's bedroom, I mean, it's still a teen's bedroom. It still doesn't really go with the rest of the house, but it definitely goes with the house a lot better than the daughter's room does, for example, because that one is definitely super out there, very colorful and very cute, and definitely my favorite room of this house. I don't know about you, but I am so not over the high school years built by items. I mean, they're so incredibly good. I love those items. They're so pretty and I'm having so much fun using them. When High School Years first came out, or when it was first released, and when the early access videos started to come out, I wasn't sure whether or not I was in love with the build buy from this pack. I knew from the get-go that I loved all of the individual pieces and like how well made they are, and they're just really, really well made, and the colors are incredible. And I'm not talking about the clutter. The clutter I have loved from day one. basically. But for the rest, like for the overall style of the furniture, I wasn't exactly sure if I was really gonna like it or use it all that much, because it's definitely not my go-to style, if that makes sense. But now that we have the stuff and now that I have been able to play around with it some more, I am loving it so much. And I love that all the pieces are like out there, which definitely inspires me to create like teenage Sims or like teenage bedrooms or storylines for Sims who are a little bit more out there and like really love to show off their personality with weird pieces, like furniture wise, and like being very colorful in that sense. I don't really know how to explain it, but I have really grown to like love these pieces. They're so good. I love the color scheme as well, like all the colors, not the color scheme, but like the different colors, different color options, the swatches basically. I just love them. They're so good and so like soft and pastel-y and just overall just incredible. So yeah, I don't know. I love the stuff from this pack. But here you can see this is most definitely the daughter's bedroom. So she has a very colorful room, lots of pinks and blues and greens and oranges and some purple like here and there as well. So I was definitely thinking that maybe she wasn't even allowed at first to paint the walls in her room, but she ended up doing it anyway. And I just think it looks really, really cute. And her parents are like, they're okay with it now. Like, what are they going to do to stop her? Like, there's nothing really they can do. She's quite rebellious in that sense. And she has a very, like, outspoken personality. I don't know how to word these things. I'm sorry. But yeah, her personality is definitely out there, and she will definitely, like, talk about what she thinks and like what she feels, which is for the parents, like they didn't really bring up their kids in that way where they like talk about feelings and things. That just isn't something they do a ton. And she is the opposite. Like she wants to do that, and that is also at some point like making her parents a little bit uncomfortable, maybe even. I don't really know, but I'm just trying to explain that she is very, very, very different from her parents and from her older brother as well, which I mean is a little bit of a shame, but I'm sure that as time goes on, they will learn to love each other and they will respect each other more. And I mean, she's also just a teenager at this point, so she is out there. She is very vocal about her opinion and what she thinks and what she wants, and rebellious in that sense as well. So I'm pretty sure that as she gets older and like, I don't know how to word that, like calm down a little bit more, she, I don't know, maybe she'll be able to talk to her parents better or not. Maybe she chooses to like separate from her parents even more and like not talk to them at some point. I don't know, that would be very sad, but it's definitely something that happens. She's just very different from the rest of her family, and I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed reflecting that in her bedroom as well. So that is something that I definitely did. And then this is the son's room, and this one is a little bit more sparsely decorated, but that's also because he's not living here anymore. So he probably took most of his stuff, except for the actual furniture in here. But he took most of his stuff to the dorms with him. So this room is a little bit more on the sparsely decorated side of things, which also makes sense for him, like personality-wise, because he is all about schoolwork and being the best at everything and like being organized and things like that. So his room was never really messy to begin with, I feel like. But yeah, as of right now, he doesn't live here anymore, so it's even less of a mess in here now because, I mean, at some point he was a high school boy and his room probably was a little bit more on the messy side, but regardless, he's always been very organized and very goal-driven and just, you know, very brainy and studious and not very messy. So this really reflects his personality as well, even though he doesn't live here anymore. He does like live here still in the sense that he comes over every weekend, but he is spending most of his time at university in the dorms, pretty much. And then this is the fourth bedroom of the house, which is the kids' bedroom, and I really went all out with like sports themed things in here, basically. Well, not all out. I just picked a sportsy themed wallpaper, as well as a sports themed bed from Snowy Escape it is, I guess. Yeah, to just kind of reflect the fact that he is into basically anything sports. Not necessarily one specific kind of sport, but just pretty much anything that is sportsy he enjoys. He's also very young still, so I feel like these things need a little bit more time to develop for him still. But I just gave him some toys in here. He has a toy box, a Blurfy, and then also a crafts table, so he's probably quite creative in that sense as well, where he just likes to do arts and crafts. But I feel like that goes for most kids. I mean, I used to love doing crafty things when I was little, but not anymore so much. So I feel like that is something a lot of kids are into. But yeah, so this room is a little bit more on the messy, well, it's not necessarily messy, but this one is definitely meant for a kid because it has some toys around the place, but then it also has a lot of space to like still walk around and like space for him to sit down on the ground and play with his toys, basically is what I was thinking. And then up here we also have one more whole bathroom, which this one is basically supposed to be for the kids to share, because it is the only bathroom upstairs. So I did actually decorate all the bathrooms on camera for this house, which isn't something I usually do. But I have two bathrooms for this house that are a little bit more on the bigger side. I usually go for smaller bathrooms, but these ended up being a little bit more bigger, except for the parents' ensuite. That one is my standard bathroom size, like small and functional, but the other two are definitely a little bit more spacious. So I just figured I would just record both of them as well. I don't know why, I just thought it'd be nice. But here we have the outdoor patio space. So this house doesn't necessarily have much of a backyard, it more so has like a side yard, if that makes sense, because of the way this lot is oriented. And it's not the biggest yard, but I did place some activities. We have some planter boxes, we have the woodworking bench. I also placed a nice outdoor dining table, as well as a grill and an outdoors trash can, obviously, as well. And then I placed some lounge chairs and some bikes, and a nice bench. So there are a couple different areas for your Sims to like sit down and hang out here in the backyard. And then I also placed a chess table on the front porch because I thought that'd be fitting. I had the perfect little spot for it there. And I don't know, I feel like this family would be into playing chess, or at least the parents and the big brother would be into playing chess, I feel like. And then here we have this little area where the Sims can climb out of the window and then use the ladder to sneak out of the house. I thought that was cute as well. But that's basically it for this build, so let's jump right into the game and I'll show you the house in real time. So here we have the house in the game. I love the view in the back where we have the carnival and like the Ferris wheel. It's just so cute. It's also funny because I was definitely imagining the daughter wanting to go over here and like spend time with her friends at the carnival all the time, but then her parents won't allow her to do that. I feel like that is really funny and fun to play around with as a storyline. But yeah, this is the facade of the house. Here we have a little pathway leading into the side yard, I guess, where we have some different activities. We have the woodworking bench here, and then we have some planter boxes and just a couple of different areas to hang out and lounge around. And then here we have the back porch with a dining table, a small one, and a grill, as well as an outdoor bin, and then double sliding doors over here in the corner. Then over here we have the front porch, which really speaks for itself. We just have a little chess table up there, and then we enter into this fancy entryway. So I placed an end table here with a mirror and a coat rack and some shoes, an umbrella rack, and just a little love seat so you can sit down and tie your shoes. And then here we have an archway leading into the open dining slash living room area. So this feels very spacious and quite like fancy in that sense. Definitely a little bit outdated, but that is exactly what I wanted. So we basically have this large dining table in the center of the room. It's a nice 8-seater dining table, so they can invite over some friends or like the neighbors for like a fancy dinner party. I also placed a grandpa clock in here, which I never do, but I love it in here and it definitely suits the style of this house. Then over here we have the living room area, and I love the way I place these couches. I never really place them in this orientation. I will usually place at least one of the couches facing the TV, but I didn't do that for this one, and I love how this came out. It just feels very fancy. Once again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but that's okay. So we have a fireplace and a TV, and then this door leading onto this little side porch thingy. It doesn't really have a function, but I just liked how it looked, so I decided to place the door there. Then off of this living room, we have the bathroom. I was debating using laundry for this house, but I didn't end up doing it. I don't really know why, but yeah, just a full bathroom in here. But if you wanted to place laundry, then you could definitely do that because this bathroom is definitely big enough for that. Then through here we have the kitchen. The kitchen is very spacious. However, it does feel quite cramped, and I like that about it. It's really big, but definitely feels a little bit outdated. So yeah, we have a little island in the middle, and then we just have all of the appliances around. I did place a double sink. That is not a mistake. I did that on purpose. I don't know why, but it felt fitting for this kitchen since it's so big, and I had a lot of counter space to fill, so I figured a double sink would be nice. So we have a sink here that you can probably use for cooking, and then this one is to, I don't know, rinse your dishes before you put them in the dishwasher. It kind of feels realistic to me. And then through here we have a tiny little hallway that leads into the master bedroom. So here we have the master bedroom. This wallpaper is a lot, but once again, I thought it'd be very fitting for this family for some reason. So they have their bed and then their wardrobe situation and some chairs here by the window. And then they have a very small but functional little ensuite, as you can see. Then when we go upstairs, we have this landing, and the landing looks down to the hallway space, as you can see. And then over here we have two windows where the Sims can sneak out of, which I really like. But yeah, this is the landing. Nothing much to see here. But here we have the daughter's bedroom, and this one is, as you can see, very colorful, very messy. You can really tell that she is into like fashion and stuff. She has this clothing rack as well as this wardrobe, and then just like a mess scattered on the floor. She has a large mirror, and her like streaming or video making setup where she like films like hauls and stuff like that. Just fashion videos is what I was thinking. And then here she has her bed with some posters on the wall and a bookcase over here as well. Just a very messy but very cute little bedroom. This is definitely my favorite. And then over here we have quite the opposite. This is a more darker and definitely less colorful bedroom that belongs to the older brother who is away going to college at this point. So there definitely are some posters around because, I mean, it's still a teen's bedroom, but yeah, this teen is a little bit more on the serious side of things. And they have their like desk set up over here as well that they probably still use every single weekend when they come home to study for their exams and stuff. So yeah, that's the big brother's bedroom. And then over here we have the little brother's bedroom. So this one is very bright and colorful, very blue, but then also has some yellow accents here and there. And yeah, this is just your basic kid's bedroom. And as you can see, this kid is very much into sports, definitely some posters around and some toys as well. Just your basic kid's room. And then over here we have the shared upstairs whole bathroom. Once again, a nice shower tub combo. I pretty much use the same set of furniture for all of the bathrooms because I like them to be like cohesive in that sense. But yeah, just your basic bathroom, nothing special. But that is basically it for this house. So this Copperdale family home is up on the gallery. It comes in at just under 135,000 simoleons, so very expensive, but once again, it definitely suits the storyline for this family. I did use a lot of packs for this one, so this one is not a limited pack build, but I hope that's okay. It has 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and I built it on a 30 by 20 in the world of Copperdale. So if you want to place it in your game, then that is where it goes. But that is going to be it for this video. So I really hope that you enjoyed this build. You can obviously go ahead and download it off the gallery like I just showed you. My username on the gallery is Simmary Sims. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmary Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so. And if you want to be notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. I also live stream over on Twitch a few times a week. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/Simmary Sims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!